What is up, sports geeks? It's your host, Josh, here back with another episode. Today, I'm yet again joined by Nick, who I don't even need to introduce anymore. I don't even need to ask Nick how he's doing because I know he's doing phenomenal during this March Madness week. And we're just going to hop right into this. Yes, sir, it is. We're just going to hop right into this here. So we're talking about the Midwest region only in this video. If you haven't watched our South regions as well as our East regions, we've already posted those, and our West region will be posted here soon. But we have the Midwest region in this one. So we have Houston as our 1 seed. We have Texas as our 2 seed. Xavier as a 3, and then obviously Indiana as 4, and some others in here as well. Houston as a 1 seed is interesting. I think they were going to be the number 1 overall seed if they did not lose that AAC championship game. Obviously, they were without Sasser, which something to monitor here. He was probable to return against Cincinnati and questionable to play against Memphis. Didn't play in either. So this could be concerning, but I do think that Houston is able to get to the Sweet 16, which is, that would be 10 days away from now. I think they can get to the Sweet 16 even without Sasser here.
Yeah, you need to look at it. Houston, obviously, that's a humongous loss. And it really scares me for them because yesterday it kind of showed they needed him. When they played against Memphis, Kendrick Davis could literally do whatever he wanted because they didn't have a guy like Sasser out there to play defense. And, you're looking at who they're playing in Northern Kentucky, who, in my opinion, is the best 16 seed in this tournament. Out of all the 16 seeds, they're definitely the best. And what scares me with them against Houston, I'm not saying that Houston's going to lose, but Northern Kentucky will come out and they'll play a zone. They'll play a zone against you, and they'll try to make you shoot. And when you don't have your best three-point shooter in Sasser, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But overall, I think Houston wins this game easily. They're just so much bigger, more talented than NKU. But then you really got to look into the next round and who they're going to play in, which is either Iowa or Auburn, which is that's going to be a really, really good first-round game.
Absolutely. I think it's an absolute toss-up. Iowa obviously on a neutral court, anywhere away from home except the one game against Indiana.
Yeah.
They've been pathetic this year, but Auburn's, obviously has plenty of talent to come away with this game as here as well. I do think that Houston can roll either of these teams, even without Sasser, though.
You look at Iowa, they've lost 4 out of the last 5, and not to bring this up because you're obviously a Spartans fan, but their only win was that absurd comeback. That was it.
Which, it is painful for me to listen to, but is a game they shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So realistically, you've lost 4 of the last 5, right?
Basically 5 in a row.
Yeah. Now they did go and beat Indiana right after that, didn't they? Because I believe they went to Indiana right after that, and then because that was when they just absolutely could not miss, I believe.
They might have. I think you might be right about that.
I'm gonna check this real quick just because I'm where are they? Where's Iowa at? They have lose first round to Ohio State. That's where they are.
Maybe it's 4 out of their last. Maybe they've lost.
They lost 2 of their last 3, but 2 in a row.
Okay.
And it's 4 of their last 6. Is that
4 of the last 6? Okay.
Because they lost to Northwestern by 20, lost to Wisconsin by 12. The impossible comeback against Michigan State. The dominant win against Indiana, where they shoot 57% from 3. And then you lose to Nebraska, lose to Ohio State. So Iowa's not trending in the right direction right now. They're stupidly inconsistent. If they were to beat Auburn, they're not stringing. I don't think they will either.
Auburn's defense is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And if you are able to sneak past Auburn, you're not getting past Houston. And the same thing goes for Auburn, I think. If you are able to get past Iowa, you're not getting past Houston.
100% agree.
So we go down here. We have a 5-12 matchup that, in all honesty, I'm not that entertained by.
No, however, I don't know why, but there's a lot of people entertained by this, and I think Miami's going to just absolutely wipe the floor with them.
I would agree. I think that, looking at the other 5-12 matchups, obviously we have Duke or Roberts, which we just talked about, and then San Diego State, Charleston. There are some really good opportunities for upsets. But I don't think this is one of them here. I think Miami rolls Drake. Now, I've been very high on Kent State all year, and you know this, all year. And these guys are very, very good. I believe they have 5 guys that average double figures. They're a top 10 team in turnover margin. They are extremely good. They turn you over a ton. They don't turn it over themselves. They have experienced guard play. Guess what? Indiana does not. This is a perfect matchup if you are Kent State here.
They match up so well.
Now, you have to somehow figure out how to defend TJD. But if you are able to limit Jackson Davis, I would say limit him to 25, even maybe limit him to 30.
Yeah.
I think Hood Schifino really struggles in this game, and I don't think Galloway really provides anything here. I think that Kent State very easily could upset Indiana. I'm not saying they will. However, if you're looking for a 13 over a 4, I think you should look no further than Louisiana and Kent State here.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. You look at Kent State, literally dominated Toledo, who was the number 1 team in the MAC. Toledo matches up so well in this game. You know, you have Sincere Carey, who is honestly probably the best guard in the MAC, probably could be one of the best guards in the Power 5 if he went to a Power 5 school. You know, they just match up so well, and they're so athletic. They're athletic and long, Kent State is. And if I had to pick a favorite upset in this tournament, I think I'm circling this one right here with Kent State getting a win over Indiana because, like you said, Indiana doesn't have the guard play to hang with some of these teams. And definitely doesn't help you either when you're getting a Kent State team who nobody picked to win the MAC to get here to the tournament. And guess what? They're here.
Yep, absolutely. They've had the underdog mentality for several games now, and they know how to play with it. Now, I do think that if Indiana is able to win this game, I think Indiana makes it to the Sweet 16. I think this first round is a bigger scare. However, when you go play Isaiah Wong in Miami, that is not going to be an easy game at all, especially when you have the guard play that Indiana does.
For Miami, I think the really big thing is can they get back Amir Pack? Can they get him back? Because, you know, he left the Duke game within the first 2 minutes with an ankle injury. But Jim Larnaga says he's day-to-day. So we'll see if they can get him back. I don't even think they need him against Drake. If you can get him against Drake for 10 or so minutes, you know, try to get him back into the speed, and I think that's fine. But if you can get him 100% healthy in the second-round game, whether that's Indiana or Kent State, I think they'll be fine. And Miami could legitimately make a case to knocking off Houston.
Yes, they could. They have very good guard play. And like you said, there's time there. There's, like we said, 10 days to help an injury-ridden Houston team, but also to help an injury-ridden.
Tell you what, I think this Midwest region is the region of injuries. You know, you got Houston injuries, Miami injuries,
Xavier.
You got Xavier injuries, Iowa State in a way injuries. They had mental health injury gone. This is literally the region of injuries.
So, I do agree with you there. So we have Iowa State here as their 6th seed, taking on who we picked Pitt to come out of that game. Do you think Iowa State is able to come out on top against Pitt or what?
This Pitt team is really interesting because, they'll play a really good game against a team like a Clemson or, like an NC State, and they'll beat them. It'll do it easily. But then, like we saw in the ACC tournament, they go up against a team like Duke, and Duke just absolutely dismantled them. And I think Iowa State can do that. I think Iowa State, they've been playing really good ball as of recently. I mean, they beat the crap out of Baylor, and then they hung tough with Kansas for a while. Kansas ended up winning by 11 or 12. But I think Iowa State's really trending in the right direction. TJ Osselberger's got them playing really good basketball, and I think they'll be able to beat Pitt. And honestly, I think I could see them beating X in that next round to go.
I was just about to say that I would say that Iowa State is my pick to represent to be their representing team to be in that Sweet 16. Now, I texted you this right when it happened. Texas A&M got the worst draw possible, in my opinion. You are playing the best 10 seed by a mile in Penn State, and then you have the best 2 seed, in my opinion, as well in Texas. I mean, it's very, very tough. I think Penn State wins this first game. I don't think A&M can get past Penn State. You know how high I am on Jalen Pickett.
Yeah.
Seth Lundy's been playing well. They have some good pieces around Jalen Pickett. So I think that he comes out on top. I think Texas comes out on top. I think Penn State is going to be a phenomenal game. But I do think that Carr and the greatest name in college basketball, Sir'Jabari Rice, are able to get it done for Texas, and they will be in Sweet 16 against Iowa State here.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. When you look at it, a lot of people are saying like Texas A&M, they got screwed. I agree to an extent, but then I also saw on Twitter, you look and it's like, well, kudos to the NCAA selection committee, because guess what? They didn't reward Texas A&M for winning in their conference. You look at Texas A&M, I don't know exactly what their strength of schedule is out of conference, but it's bad. They played nobody out of conference. And Buzz Williams basically was just giving his teams free wins that weren't going to really help him at all when it came to March. And I think that's why they're rated a 7. They got to the final against Bama. They got blown out. And then there you go. The committee's like, well, look, okay, congratulations. You did well in the SEC. You finished second. You didn't reward yourself out of conference by playing anybody.
Right.
And I think that's exactly what really – I mean, I don't want to talk about the bubble at all, but that's exactly what the committee chairman said about Oklahoma State. Like, look, they didn't play anybody. They had 18 quad 1 opportunities, but almost all of them were within the Big 12, and they went 6-12. They didn't give themselves any out-of-conference chances to booster that quad 1 resume, and I think that's exactly what the committee saw with Texas A&M and put them out of 7.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and this is a difficult road for them if they want to get themselves to the Sweet 16, but I don't even think they get to the second round.
No, I agree with you. I think Penn State wins that game.
So we're looking at this here. I know we've been flying through this predictions here. So we both have a Houston, Miami in Sweet 16 matchup, and we both have a Texas, Iowa State matchup here as well.
Big 12 matchup.
I don't want to be a boring 1 versus 2 seed in the Elite Eight, but in this bracket, I don't think I see a team that is able to beat Texas or Houston, before the Elite Eight here.
I want to say I've filled out like 3 brackets so far. I was just bored and I filled out a few. I want to say in almost all of them, not all of them, I had Miami going to the Final Four against either Texas and possibly Penn State I had either Texas, and I think in one of them, I think I had Penn State beating Texas and going to the Final Four. And I think in another one, I had Iowa State. So I had 3 different ones. But if I were to pick which ones I would take, I would have to go Miami and Texas. I really would.
Gotcha. I feel like Texas is going to be in the Elite Eight comfortably here. Houston, Miami could be a good game. I think that will be a good game. I think it's going to come down to who's healthier, right?
Literally that's 100% what's going to come down to.
So if Miami's healthier, then I do think they can come out on top. If Miami were to win that game, I think Texas then goes through to the Final Four. If Houston wins that game, that means that Sasser's healthy by that point, and I think I'm going to have Houston into the Final Four here. So then,
I hate to say it, but I think I really do think Marcus Sasser's groin injury is a lot worse than they're telling us. I really think that's the case.
I believe it.
You look at it, it's bad. Like watching that game, because I'm a UC fan, you were watching as well. I instantly thought it was an ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Like I text you, I was like, "There's just no way he's going out again like this. Like that's actually horrible." Like you never root for injuries, and you look at it, you're like, "Wow, like if he's going to go out again that way, that's horrible." But I'm glad it's obviously a groin. But you look at it like you don't need him against Northern Kentucky. You're not going to really need him against Auburn. Can he get healthy in 10 days? Would it be 10 days?
Technically, it'd be about 14 from
14 days.
12 days, 12.
Can he get healthy? Can he get healthy in that span? I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know enough about groin injuries to be able to tell you a correct timetable.
Yeah.
I know, if it was an ankle, he for sure could, but with it being a groin, I don't know enough about it. But if he's able to get healthy, I think Houston, with a healthy Sasser, Houston is my favorite to win it all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what the crazy thing is, he's not even healthy, and their odds to win it all are like plus 500, the best odds out of every team, which is still insane
Yeah. Well, it goes to show you how deep this team is and how good they are all around.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think we see Houston, Texas, Elite Eight, because I do think Sasser gets healthy. If he doesn't get healthy, I think we see a Miami, Florida, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Elite Eight, and then I'm taking Texas into the Final Four if they play Miami. If they play Houston, it's gonna be a great game. Could still be Texas, but I'm gonna rock with Houston. I will assume Sasser gets healthy. I'm gonna try to speak it into existence for his
Yeah.
sake.
Seriously.
So I'm going to have an Alabama Duke. They're out. I'm sorry, Alabama Marquette, Houston Final Four. Those are three of my four teams, and we will see who the fourth one will be probably tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I really couldn't agree more. You look at it, it's basically the ball's in Houston's court. Like, can they get Sasser healthy? That's really what it's going to be. Because, if they can, I agree with you. There's no way they're not making it to at least the Elite Eight. And I think they're a better, more defensive-minded team that can beat Texas. But if they can't get him healthy by the time they hit the Sweet 16, I think Miami can knock them off. I really do.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I do want to talk really quickly. I'm going to scroll down here. We'll look at this West region very briefly. If you were to see Houston play some of these favorites here, Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga, I do think that Houston's suffocating defense can really cause these teams to struggle. Specifically, Gonzaga, I think they would really struggle. I think UCLA would really struggle, especially when they've been dealing with some injuries here.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I think Kansas would struggle. I think Grady Dick would really struggle. And when we've seen when Grady Dick's not playing well, Kansas really is not that
Yeah,
good.
no. When he's not playing well, Kansas is just your everyday team that relies on one person to score, and that's Jalen Wilson.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the West here, so I don't want to dive into that too much. But I do think Houston has a very good, if Sasser gets back, a very good road to face off against maybe a Bama in the final, which I think is going to be a very commonly picked championship. But I think they're the two best teams in college basketball right now.
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Just got to get healthy at this point, and really all it comes down to, really.
Yeah. Any closing comments? I know this one's been really quick, but there was not a lot to talk about in this one. Any closing comments with this Midwest region here?
Yeah, no, I think this region compared to the other ones, there's really not as many, upsets. I think this one's more clear cut. Obviously, you look at it, and it obviously shows out to you. It's also the region of injury. You got Houston with the injuries, you got Miami with the injuries, you got Iowa State with the leave of absences kicking the grill off the team, and then you got Xavier, who lost their best player in Zach Freemantle for the year. And I think if they had him healthy, hypothetically, if he was to play, they could most likely get to the Elite Eight in this region. I think they're that good of a team if they had him, and that is such just a killer to lose him for the rest of the year. But no, I think this is in some way the region of injury / opportunity, because you never know who's going to be healthy. So anybody could really take this, get a first round win and just run with it.
Yeah,
like Kent State, we could see Kent State going the Sweet 16 playing against Houston to go to the Elite Eight. We really could. That's the one thing I like about this Midwest. You just have no clue where it's going to go. You really have no clue.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a typical March Madness region right here. A true, so many factors are unknown.
So many different things. So many unknowns.
Yep, absolutely. So I don't think I have any other closing comments. As long as that's all that you have there, we will go ahead and close this region up. So we both have Houston or Texas coming out of this region, just to clarify. Gotcha. Or you're thinking maybe Miami, Florida as well. If
maybe a Miami. Yeah, maybe Miami. It really depends on if Houston can get healthy.
Gotcha. But other than that, this has been the Sports Geeks podcast. They play, we talk. Thanks for watching.